Hi everyone. In this video, we are gonna study the chapter The Cure by Robert Smith. So, today we will explore the band named The Cure. It is a famous English rock band, and we will discuss about an interview with their lead singer Robert Smith. Actually, the interview happened in 1984. It's so far, okay. So, in 1984, and we will look at their music, live performances, and how they maintain their artistic freedom and all. So, without wasting any time, let's move on to the chapter. So, first of all, we must have a basic understanding of what is the Cure. So, the Cure is an English rock band, and that was formed in 1978. They are known for their contributions to the post-punk, gothic rock, and alternative music. So many of you might be wondering, what do you mean by a post-punk and all? So, post-punk is literally new music. It is kind of new music. We all of us are familiar with the pop culture and all. So similarly, there is something called punk music. So punk music means it is a type of loud and aggressive music that was very much familiar and very much popular and was celebrated among the youth people in the late 1970s. Similarly, there is something called as goth music, and it is kind of a rock music that emerged from the post-punk. Actually, there is punk music, post-punk, and goth music. So, the band The Cure is known for their post-punk, gothic rock, and alternative music things. That's what our Robert Smith is saying in this interview. So, some of their most popular songs include Friday, I'm in Love, Love Song, and Just Like Heaven. Over the years, The Cure, the band, has influenced many alternative and indie musicians. Exactly. So, without looking at the author or the main leader of the band, it is incomplete to study the chapter. The chapter will be incomplete without him. So let's have a look at Robert Smith, the iconic frontman. Okay, Robert Smith is the lead singer, songwriter, and guitarist of the band named Cure. The Cure. He is known for his distinctive look, the way he presents himself, the way he showcases himself, which includes messy hair, smudged lipstick, and dark clothing. His lyrics are poetic and deeply emotional. He has also collaborated with other well-known bands such as Suzy, the Banshees, The Glow, etc. So let's have a detailed summary of the interview. First of all, in the interview, Robert Smith explains that many English bands only perform in England. But The Cure always had a global outlook, just like many of the movies that are gonna release nowadays have a a pan-Indian attention. They are seeking for a pan-Indian attention. Just like that, on those days, the band named The Cure had a global outlook when all other bands were performing only in England. So they regularly performed in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, which helped them to maintain a strong connection with their fans. He believes this international focus is one of the main reasons for the band's success. So, there is a question in our textbook, that is, what is the reason for the band's success? So, it is the international focus the band had. When it comes to leaving other bands, Smith also played with another band called Suzy and the Banshees, but he eventually left those bands. His decision was not because he disliked their music, but because managing both bands became overwhelming. We know multitasking is not a simple thing. So leaving Banshees allowed him to have more personal time while still working on the Cure. So he left one band and he had more time. When it comes to the musical influence and the differences between two bands, Robert Smith acknowledges that his time with the Banshees, influenced his music. You can find certain influences on there. Some ideas that might have been used in The Cure were instead incorporated into the Banshee songs. However, he explains that this was not a conscious decision. It happened naturally through collaboration. Press speculations and departure from the Banshees. So, whenever a celebrity singer or a celebrity guitarist leaves from a popular band and starts his own band separately, it's common to have so many rumors. Okay, here also, our Robert Smith had such a rumor that the media at that time claimed that Smith left the Banshees because he disliked their last album. However, he denies this and states that disagreements over production are normal in every band. But he clarifies that he left these bands for his personal reasons. It's not because he had some kind of dissatisfaction with the music. It is only because of his personal reasons. That's what he said. When we come to the Glove project with Steve Severin, Robert Smith also worked on a side project that is called the Glove with Steve Severin. He denies that this project was motivated by money and insists that it was purely a creative experiment. While he found the process enjoyable, he also describes it as mentally exhausting. And he's joking that spending 3 months on a project felt like 180 years. Actually, he just spent 3 months on this project, but he's saying that it felt like spending 180 years. Look at the way he is saying. It is called as exaggeration. It is a poetic technique actually. It is called as exaggeration. Although the album was not widely appreciated, Smith personally liked it. So the album was not well popular at that time and it was not successful. But for Smith, it was a personal favorite. Then Smith starts commenting on the commercial success and the Love Cats. Actually, the Love Cats is a song. Okay, so the interview suggests that Love Cats was a commercial song. But Robert Smith denies this. He explains that the song was inspired by jazz and a music festival in France. The band recorded it in Paris. And he jokes that there will never be a follow-up song called Love Dogs. Actually, the name of the song is The Love Cats. So he was joking that there won't be a follow-up song like Love Dogs. You shouldn't be expecting that. Then he comes to live performances. So ultimately, Smith believes that The Cure, the band's current lineup, is the strongest they have ever had. See, he's speaking this in the 1984. That's what you have to think. Okay, keep that in mind. So at that time, Smith believed that The Cure's current lineup is the strongest they have ever had, and he explains that every band member contributes to the creative process. It's not just the process of one person. It is not just the responsibility of the one person, but all the members, every member in the band contribute to the creative process. He also describes his role in the band as chaotic but essential in shaping the music. Now, Smith discusses their live album and explains why it sounds raw and unpolished. The album was mixed in just 4 days to keep it as authentic as possible. He believes that live albums should capture the real concert experience rather than sound like studio recordings. For example, I can give you an example from a Malayalam song. That is, there is one song from a famous singer Vidhu Pratap, in which he uses the a cappella. Okay, so it was shot in the live occasions, and it was recorded in the live locations in order to keep it authentic, and it is in line with Robert Smith's ideology that he believes that live albums should capture the real concert experience rather than sounding like studio recordings. And ultimately, he talks about retirement and all. Like, Smith confirms that he meant for his comment about retiring from contemporary music. However, he jokes that he already feels too old at 25. He's just 25. He was just 25 at 1984. That's what you have to think. That's what you have to keep in your mind. He was just 25 in 1984, and he jokes that he already feels too old. While this was said humorously, it reflects how musicians often think about how long they will stay in the industry. So, we cannot say that it is a permanent way of living, but it depends. It depends so many factors. That's what he is pointing at. Now, let's have a look at the key themes from the interview. So, the main themes from the interview include the importance of live performances, how the Cure, the band, maintains an authentic connection with their audience. He already stated that having live performances is a way to connect or maintain your relationship with the audience, your fans. The second one is maintaining artistic freedom. It is about artistic freedom. Why Smith values creative control over commercial success. When the interviewer calls the Love Cats as a commercial song, he says that it is out of creation. It is my creation. It is not a commercial song. And the third theme we are going to discuss is side projects and creative exploration. So, the role of the projects like the Globe that already we have discussed. And the fourth point, the evolution of music industry and the band identity. Like, how the bands change over time, the evolution of bands over time. Even you can do an analysis, a research on the team, because there are so many bands that last for a long time, and there happens the evolution. And nowadays there are so many bands, so many western bands in the pop culture also. There are so many bands, and how they have evolved. So how bands change over the time, the evolution of music industry and the band identity, that is one of the major theme in this interview. Now let's have a short look at the language and expression. Smith speaks informally in the interview, and he's using contractions and casual expressions. His pronunciation reflects British English, and his sentence structure is more natural in spoken conversation than in written context. So, that's all for the language and expression analysis, and I have some discussion and activities points here. So let's discuss these questions together. Why do some bands lose touch with their audience after becoming famous? That's a question to be discussed. And the second one, what makes live performances feel more real? That you have to answer. Third question, how does artistic freedom help musicians? And fourth one, if you were a journalist, what questions would you ask a musician? What are the questions you are going to frame? Okay, so these are the things we have to study in this chapter. Just look at the chapter and the points we have discussed so far. Thank you and have a nice day.